Hey everybody, this is Jerrett. Just had a quick announcement before we get into this week's episode. Due to some personal circumstances, we were not able to record a new episode for this week, so instead we're bringing you a replay of one of our old episodes from the archive, going all the way back to episode 38, Best and Worst Games in a Series. Thought it would be fun to throw it back to one of our older episodes, especially one that is more on an evergreen topic like Best and Worst Games in a Series, and also Zach's in the episode, so it's a nice little throwback all the way around. So you might notice a few things different in the normal format of the show just because, hey, it's an older episode and things change. But we hope you enjoy this throwback to the past. So, without further ado, enjoy episode 38, Best and Worst Games in a Series.
All right, how about if I start? What's up, everybody?
Welcome
to Team Chat. No, I can't do it.
No, come on. Just give it a shot.
I don't know the spiel.
Yes,
I always
you do.
tune him out when he starts.
Jared's gonna go
I mean, I get that. I know. I'm like editing the video later, and I'm like doing the spiel,
No,
and you're on your phone normally, and Mogan's just like,
I'm usually I'm thinking like, what am I going to talk about?
Yeah, what's the topic?
What
what are we doing? What are we doing?
All right, you can start. We're ready.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
What's up?
And to my left, Zachary Parks.
Hey. Why is that funny?
I don't know, because you always bring something new, so I never know what it's going to be.
You gotta change it up.
I know.
Yeah.
It's good. That's good.
One day,
I like it.
I gotta figure new things out to say. And I don't know any other languages.
But if this is your first time listening to Team Chat Podcast, we are a video game podcast where we will talk about games that we love and sometimes games that we hate. And we'll do that through top 3 lists, discussion, debates, reviews, and every once in a while, a guest.
Could be you,
Had a couple
listener.
guests.
Could be you.
Listener number
Could be
1,000.
you. But if you would like to get in contact with us to send us a question, comment, general feedback about the show, or topic idea, you can do that by sending us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com, following us on Twitter and Facebook at Team Chat Podcast, and subscribing to YouTube where you can watch the episodes in video format. And also, if you would like to support the show, you can also do that by going to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, Sarah McLachlan music, cute now, you can help support the show.
In the arms
And also,
of the angels,
you'll help us achieve our dreams.
away
And in return,
from here.
we will not only will we give you great content of these episodes,
I don't know what you said.
we will also provide you with cool perks like getting each episode early before its Tuesday release. But if you don't want to do that, that's totally fine, because we still love making this podcast and giving you great content each and every week. The Team Chat promise, the Team Chat guarantee. Again, if you would like to check that out, that's patreon.com/Team Chat Podcast.
I can't wait till we're like have a motherboard of sound design, like a real radio.
That'd be awesome,
yeah,
right?
that'd be cool.
You're listening to Team Chat.
Oh my God. I would turn it off so fast.
People would hate it.
So
God, these guys suck. They suck so hard.
I feel like our Sarah McLachlan music kind of threw you off.
You cued it.
I called for it. You guys delivered it, and then I
what
slowed
else
down
can
my
I do?
tempo to match the cadence of the song.
I'll
It
look
was
up
great.
the real lyrics next time.
Yeah,
We'll get it.
All I know is that in the arms of the angel.
It's in the arms of the
It's the
angel.
arms
I
of the
thought it was in
fool.
the
The
eyes.
angel's supposed to be carrying those sweet, poor puppies and kitties. That
To
are,
heaven.
But that's
Because
the
of
only
animal
reason.
abuse.
That's the only reason why I know the lyrics to that one line is because that's all I hear about before I turn off the commercial. Like, nope, don't feel like crying today.
The angels. Those
Know what your
commercials are
priorities are at.
long.
And they're
They're
sad.
so
Yeah, why are
long,
they like
and
2
really,
minutes?
Seriously,
Yeah,
they're
they
so
can be very
long.
long.
Like, that's the whole commercial break, and then you're back to your SpongeBob. And you're
I know.
like, oh,
And you're just like,
man.
I need
It's really ruined the flow.
Where's my SpongeBob?
bad. It's bad.
For children.
But before we get into the episode, since we're still getting used to this, we'll talk about, and I'll
do the
need
mother
to.
boy.
Oh wait, I need to give like some kind of
Let's
weird
restart the podcast.
pause.
Restart.
No restarts.
Just joking.
But so the song for last week, we will add in later the person who won. But the song from last week is "Silver for Monsters" from the Witcher 3 soundtrack.
That hint was good.
Thank
It
you.
was a
Good
solid
hint. It
hint.
was a good hint, and I appreciate the way our hints are going.
Yeah.
For
They're more like riddles.
yeah.
It was
I
very
said last
cryptic. Yeah, it was
episode.
good.
For those of you who aren't familiar with the Witcher series, silver swords are used for fighting monsters. Steel is used for fighting humans. So when you're
Nice.
fighting monsters, which the song is called "Silver for Monsters," silver is better than steel. That was my hint. So
Yours was way more
Jolly
thought
good,
out
sir.
than mine.
Very good, very good.
thank you,
Very
sir. I
clever.
tip my hat
Just
to
do
you.
it.
Give that to you, sir.
But yeah, so we'll add in this and blank won the contest this week. So congratulations, you.
Gotcha.
If
'cause we're
anyone won at all.
I'm going to add him in later.
But anyway, so stick around for the end of this episode where we will Zach will give us another song for you all to guess the game, which game it's from.
I have a good hint.
He'll have a hint as well, so stick around for that at the end of the episode. Or, whatever, skip ahead if you don't like hearing us talk.
Yeah, just listen to some video game music at the end. Hey, that's not a bad deal.
This is a good podcast.
Yeah.
A weekly dose of soundtracks.
A sick
About an hour
intro
15,
followed by a
you
great
guys
outro.
Just mute, but I'm telling you, other than that, they do a really
That
good
last
job.
5 seconds. Man, real
That's
winner.
where it's at.
That's where it's at.
So, today, the topic of today's show is best and worst of a game series. So this is going to be good. This is going to be
Indeed.
good. So we each picked a series, and we each picked the best one, and we picked the worst one.
It was such a struggle for me to not go, Legend of Zelda. They have 20 plus
It was
installments. They
such
can
a
definitely
struggle
talk
not
about
to do
that.
Halo.
Well, yeah. I mean, mine. I feel like I can get away with because it's a popular franchise, but I haven't personally talked about it a lot. So I feel like I got to pass. If not, if we get to it and you guys no, boo,
Boo!
Give it the
then
boo.
I have a backup.
Quick shout out. So Spencer and I were talking about metal bands, and he sent me a band, and he was like, I kind of don't think you're going to like them. And I listened to about the first 5 seconds of the song, and I told him, I don't know about this. We're about 5 seconds in. I don't know about this. And he was like, oh no. And I was like, okay, we're going to try song number 2. And I was like, shut down. We're done here. I give this the
the boo.
official Mogan boo. I gave it the boo. And he was like, no,
The harshest
Mogan
review
boo.
in existence. The
review.
Mogan boo.
The boo hammer.
The boo hammer. Yeah.
That should be your official
That's
when,
my
when we do
official thing, the
reviews and
boo.
stuff. What would it be then if it's a positive?
If it's a positive,
Because you got a very strong boo.
I cry a lot.
So like if you break
Tears
in
of
tears.
joy, yeah.
All right.
It doesn't take much to make me cry tears of joy. I cry way easier at joy than I do at sadness.
Oh.
Like for sadness, I can hold it in. I can be steely and strong. But if something happy happens in any movie or life or show, if a dog smiles at me, I'm like, just
You don't
immediately
cry when
break
Fender
down.
smiles at you.
That's because his smile is ugly.
Damn. Jesus
That's
Christ.
the producer of this show. You have just insulted.
Fired.
Fender the
Insulting
dog.
my dog,
That's
dude.
like
Damn.
gonna put the boo on you.
No, he
Put the
will.
kibosh on you,
What
Mogan.
or worse, his claws are so sharp. He'll get me.
Yeah.
He's
That's
a
right.
powerhouse.
Our producer is a dog. If anyone is just first listening to this
He's
show,
got
and
a
you've noticed the quality, it's because our producer's a dog.
It's 'cause
The
the
canine.
quality is top
Yeah,
notch,
it's actually very surprising that Fender is able to put
that
all
was
this
more
together.
of an insult than mine.
Wait a minute, who does Jerrett need to be mad at? Here?
both of you. It seems like
Who
Jesus.
do I need to give the anger to? That is my flesh and blood.
We love Fender. He's so cute.
One's insulting my dog, the other's insulting my producing skills. Jesus.
Double whammy.
I know, it's rough. Tough crowd up in the Team
crowd.
Chat podcast.
Tough crowd.
So, moving back to the topic, who would like to kick us off?
I wish we had music to cue the game. Sorry.
To
That'd
do
be
like
Jared extra work.
each of our games.
Like, come on.
Yeah, like because I'll
actually-
go. Okay. Oh, never mind.
No,
Oh, let's not step on toes.
You go first, my good sir.
But if I had some music to cue it up, it'd be great. But maybe we'll get into that in post. But maybe not. And maybe I don't know.
I'm not making promises.
So
See how that week
if you
is.
teach me how
I'm
to
doing-
do it, I'll totally do it.
I'm also doing a very popular franchise.
Okay.
But it's a franchise that I've not really talked about that much in depth.
Okay.
And let's see if you can guess. I always do this. Let's see if you can guess.
I like guessing games.
I like guessing games too.
Is it a racing game?
No.
Oh, I thought
If-
for sure it was going to be.
Well, I was thinking about doing a racing game, but I did not.
Is it Mortal Kombat?
No. All
All right, hint.
Hint,
Yeah.
hint. I mentioned this game. I don't know the episode number, but it was favorite campaign missions.
Okay.
Ooh, hold up. Let me think.
Snap. That was a while back.
That was a while back, wasn't it? I'm trying to think of y'all.
it
See, I'm trying
Call
to see
of
if I
Duty?
can remember y'all's.
Is it Rainbow Six?
No.
Wait, is it Metal Gear?
No. I haven't played enough Metal Gears to
Oh,
know.
that's right. You've only
You've
played
only played
five.
five,
worst
yeah.
in the franchise.
Okay, hold on. I'm just shooting off the cuff. Let me actually think
Best
about
is
it.
5, worst is going to be Metal Gear Survive.
Oh,
that's about
yeah.
it, yeah.
We already know.
It's like with the Mass Effect. The best is 1, because
The
that's
best
all
is
I've
one.
played.
That's all I played.
The worst is, I don't know, 3. I actually hear 2 is the best.
Yeah, that's what I've
okay.
heard.
Yeah,
That's
so
what
I'm
I've heard.
excited. to
Maybe
get
I'll
to do.
skip right to
Yeah,
Jerrett.
if no one knows, I'm playing Mass Effect for the first time, which
Yeah.
is obviously a game.
And he streams it sometimes, and
I
it's
stream it sometimes.
hilarious.
It is
should
hilarious.
watch it.
Everyone
It's
makes
so
fun of me.
bad.
Terms, if you want to watch. Yeah, I was playing a couple nights ago, and I just went through the same part of the game about 50 times. And
So-
and James is like, yeah, use your this and that, and I'm like, upgrade your armor. I'm like, nope, I
Just doing it my way.
I'm doing it my way. Like basically, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little off track, but basically the scenario is you have to kill this queen. It's early on in the game. I'm not that far, and you just to get to her is hard enough. She's sending out her henchmen, and so the fact that I made it that far was a miracle in my opinion. And when I got there, I had like a sliver of health. And so it's one of those moments in games where it's like, yeah, a sliver of health. You do it so many times, you realize there's only really one way to do it. Like I tried to strategize, I tried to back up, told my teammates to do stuff, but really all I could do was just run at her as fast as I could before she could even figure what do her thing, and shoot her 3 times with my shotgun. Connect like good hits, you know?
Yeah.
And so took me about 45 times to do it, but I finally got it. Because if I miss one or I don't do it quick enough, she shoots a blast at me. It hits me every time and I die. So I did it, and it was such a fun. I thought it was fun, but everyone's like yelling at me on Twitch, or just my friends. They're like, just do this, do that. And I'm like, nope.
Doing it my way.
Yeah.
I do that all the time. Like if there's an easy way, I'm not going to do it.
Tell me how to play my
Don't
own
tell me
game.
how to live my life.
The mere fact you're telling me is going to make me do the other thing. Yes.
Who have you decided to romance?
Garrus,
come on, romance Garrus.
Garrus is my boy. I respect the hell out of that guy. He's a good soldier. God, we've had some good battles
He could
together.
be your one true bro. Bro for life.
I do like Liam Seong. I think that's her name. Is that what Liam Seong? She's the blue creature.
Oh, she's the one that's like the scholar, right?
Yeah, she's
I like her.
She's
She's cool.
She's book smart.
Wisdom is good.
Ashley, the other human. I think it's Ashley.
Oh, yeah, the racist
She's
one.
racist.
Yeah.
Don't like her.
Damn.
And then
'Cause
there's
at
a one
first
with a
you liked
mask that
Ashley.
you can't see what she looks like. So
Tali.
yes.
Ooh, mystery.
Yeah. So
Maybe that's
I'm-
what I'll
Tali
go
reminds
through.
me of Anna.
Go for it.
Because of the type
she
of
does look
mask,
Anna,
I'm
and
like,
she's super into
oh.
your ship's like core, like what makes it go fast. So I'm like, cool.
Is Tali a human?
You like racing.
She wants to go fast.
Oh, Shepherd.
Oh, shit.
Shepherd's
You
pie.
sly dog.
I feel like you should date the scholar because you play a wild
Well, I'm not
freewheeling
gonna-
ship.
Yeah. We're gonna complement.
You need
each
a
other
balance.
nicely.
Yeah, you need balance.
And we're all three. You know.
Yeah. Why not?
Boo.
Live life my
so-
way.
Okay. Anyways.
Don't
So yeah,
judge
so
me.
I don't. So what is
Anyways.
your game? Because I cannot think of what it is. That episode
It's
was
a
too
huge,
far back.
huge franchise.
Okay, well,
GTA.
oh yeah.
That's not that TCP.
Racing game.
That's a podcast.
No, it's Grand Theft Auto.
Sir, that's
Come
a
on now.
racing
I forget that
game.
you've played more than just 5.
Right.
Oh yeah, I've played 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Okay, so
I have
which
not
one?
played
Though
the
you haven't-
original
Yeah,
Grand
you don't
Theft
talk
Auto.
about this one that
I don't,
much.
and it's been a huge. I've beaten everyone, played them, put many hours into all of them.
So I'm going to say we do this backwards.
Backwards?
So whereas we do the best one first and then do the worst one, so we can compare it to the best one as to why it was so bad.
Okay.
As to what made it bad in
Okay.
comparison to the best one. So they already
That's
know
actually how I wrote my notes. So
Well, this
that makes
works out
sense.
really well
That
for
makes
everyone
sense.
then.
Nice and linear.
that is creating hella noise inside.
Oh, sorry,
my-
I'm thinking because Grand Theft Auto, it's tough to figure out, and because I guess I haven't which one is the worst, but I know which one's the best. I think I know which one is the worst.
So we're
too.
starting with best.
Yeah, we're starting with best.
Okay,
This will give you
so
time to
I'll
think
go with
about
the
it.
best.
Yeah.
Man, I know what I'm going to say for my worst. I'm going to get some shit for it.
I can't wait.
But
I'm excited.
I love unpopular opinion.
Yeah, the best in my opinion is 4.
Okay.
I was going to try to think of a whole speech to lead up to
That
it.
means
a lot of good
nothing
things
to
for
me.
that. I've heard
Yeah.
a lot of good things about that one in particular.
Grand Theft Auto 4 is my favorite.
So
Wow, this is tough. This is a lot tougher than I thought it'd be.
well, yeah,
To say
because
that.
it's like what parts is going to
No,
to say
to say that Grand Theft Auto 4 is the
Is
best,
your favorite one.
and me thinking that it's the best Grand Theft Auto.
So was it the characters or was it the
Good,
story?
all great questions. So Grand Theft Auto, a little bit of history from my perspective about Grand Theft Auto. It from the first one I played that was 2 was
Yeah.
it's a top down game. It's
Right.
It's a bird's eye view the whole time. So I don't know what kind of game that you call that, but
I think top down.
it's a top down game and you race through the
I
streets.
always
and
kind of
it-
thought they were all third person.
no, Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2.
Which I
Shows
think
how
that
much
was
I know.
graphically 1 and 2 especially, like that was because of the graphics that were available at the time.
Yeah, that well, I don't know when Grand Theft Auto 2 came out,
I think I have it for my PS1.
I did
4 is 2008. So
okay, yeah, I had Grand Theft Auto 2 for my PlayStation 1 as well, and but it's still the game is there in Grand Theft Auto 2. I don't remember how much in depth the story was. I honestly don't. All I really remember from that is running around, creating chaos, using this like electricity gun that I never saw again in any of the Grand Theft Autos, but you still like cops are a big thing. Helicopters come in, rocket launchers, tanks. Like it's still Grand Theft Auto at its core, but the evolution from 2 to 3 has to be one of the biggest like gaming moments or like gaming evolutions for a game of all time. It's got to be. There's no way it's not, because Grand Theft Auto 3, which takes place in a pseudo New York City called Liberty City, was so mind blowing. I think it was for PS2. When did Grand Theft Auto 3 come out? 2000.
I can look it up.
It was so mind blowing. The
2001.
I
had no, and that's the third one. I had
they've
no
been making
idea
Grand
they
Theft
were
Autos
that
for a
old.
while.
They are, yeah, they're
Holy
old.
crap.
It's a franchise.
And they always have a huge gap in between.
Yeah, that's a big gap from 3
Because
to 4.
3 to 4 and then 4 to 5.
Yeah,
that's
but they take
7
their time.
years.
We've always talked about how much we all love Rockstar. I really like the way they handle like how they make games. But Grand Theft Auto 3, even though now graphically it probably hasn't really stood the test of time in a lot of ways, it still was so amazing to play GTA 3. I remember going to Toys R Us, convincing my mom to get it, riding home in the car,
How'd you
reading
slide that one past your mom?
At first she said no, and I was like, and she's like, yeah. She said, I don't care. And I remember reading the back of it, and it's like, kill hookers, become a pimp, do whatever it takes to beat the game.
It's like, yeah.
And I was like reading that out loud. My mom's like, oh my god, like what have
Your
I done?
mom should have turned around.
I know, but it was the free roaming ability in that game was so awesome. That was probably, I always talk about Oblivion being one of the first games I felt what free roaming felt like.
Yep.
Grand Theft Auto was probably maybe even before that, but Oblivion's really crazy and cool. But just the cityscape, the stuff that you could do, it was amazing. And it had a pretty decent story that had what Grand Theft Auto is really known for, especially now, and I guess since 3, they have such great characters. They have a lot of good side characters. But here, the thing about 3, your character was boring as hell. He was like a typical, like, just kind of crime dude. Like,
Crime dude? A grunt?
He was like
hench person?
He didn't have a background, really.
He was just a criminal. He had like a black leather jacket, and he did whatever it took to kind of get to the top, and everyone respected him in the crime world for that. So he was working for a lot of people, and you meet all these different characters, and it feels like an RPG in that sense. The amount of characters and quests that you have to do. I wonder if you could call Grand Theft Auto an RPG.
I would say, misses key elements of RPG. Like, I mean, I don't know. Because you can level, in 5, at least you can like level up your character in the sense of like the more you run, the faster the better their stamina.
Right.
The more you
there's
shoot,
nothing
the better
like that. You're
but
right.
it's not like you're applying experience points.
That's
to
true.
specific
And you also
things.
don't, especially in 4 and 5, your identification really is not with like what you do in the game. It's like the game's already, the story's told. Yeah, you don't feel like you have any say in the story. It's like, here's what's happening. So yeah, maybe not safe to call it an RPG.
I would say probably just action adventure, open world.
But a really good one. Open world action adventure, and one that introduces characters they weave back in. It's a really well-told story. And Grand Theft Auto 3 was a really well-told story. I mean, I don't remember the exact arc of it. I just remember a lot of the characters that I met, a lot of the mob crime bosses, putting bombs in cars. It was great. And I was like, okay, Grand Theft Auto 3, great game. Loved it. And I always have that story that I told you guys that I got super far in it, like 98% completion. I was playing during a thunderstorm. And
and you lost
everything. Like I lost everything, and I just turned it off and like went downstairs and had dinner and never thought about it again. I was like, didn't know how to process it. I was like, I didn't know. Like I was so mad. Like I just internalized it for 15
Zach, how's your day? Whatever.
Maybe that's on the top of your mental health problems
maybe
list.
That's why I'm so unhappy. Just Grand Theft Auto.
Never got to finish it.
So great, right?
Yeah.
Here comes Grand Theft Auto 4 coming around the corner of what, 7 years later? 7 years
Something
later.
Like
7 years later.
01 to 08.
Trailers start coming out for it, little teaser trailers. I don't know if you guys saw
much
that.
of it, no.
Okay, so this was massive for me. The teaser they Rockstar their teaser trailers were like movie trailers. They were these not panoramic, but these sort of helicopter shots of New York City, and looks real. There's unbelievable music, and there's this voice that's doing the VO for it, this Russian voice, and he's like, I've killed people, I've smuggled people, but I've done whatever it takes. It's time to start over. And you don't know what's going on. You're like, whoa.
Nice
and then
Russian
like
accent, by the way.
thank you. And then the 4 comes up, and it's like boom, 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 boom. It's like, whoa, Grand Theft Auto 4, this is huge. So they did that for, I don't know, 6 months. They just teased you. And you're like, oh man, they're really doing a good job. I am so excited. They came out with like such great, I still rewatch some of these trailers. They're so good. I love them. And I guess the most important thing of why Grand Theft Auto 4 stands out among the other ones, as for me, my favorite and the best, is the story / look of it. Even compared to 5, which isn't a beautiful game, Grand Theft Auto 4 has a grittiness and a rawness to it that I don't think 5 has. 5 is LA, it's flashy, it's colorful, it's exciting.
Very pop.
Yeah, it's very pop. And 4 is just gray and beautiful in its own way.
You're a big fan of gray.
I like the darker side of things, and a beautiful game in its own right. This Grand Theft Auto 4 is a really good looking game, but whenever I think about it, I just see rain and I see a really beaten down city it's been through a lot of shit, and so you're back at Liberty City. I was
about to say, isn't it New York?
It's New York
Grand
City,
Theft Auto?
but yeah, I guess you're back at Liberty City, and you play Nico Bellic, and you're this Russian immigrant that comes off a boat, which has an unbelievable opening cinematic scene that feels like a movie. Have you guys played 4?
I have not.
I remember you talking about this character though.
Nico Bellic.
Yeah.
I talk about him for the campaign mission. So the campaign mission was the 4-leaf clover one where you rob a bank.
Right.
Yep,
Now I remember
that now.
Yeah, with Patrick, the Irish friend, which is a great character. And you come off this boat and it's got this music and the cameras. I think very cinematically. And so I'm thinking like, this is such a really well-crafted intro. You get in a car, you meet your cousin Roman, he takes you to an apartment, you realize this is, I won't go into the game, what it's about. I'm talking about more why I like it, but you basically start out at the bottom. He's like, this is where I live. It's an apartment. You step on a cockroach. It's like, geez, this sucks. And slowly over time, you get intertwined with the criminal world, even though that's something you're trying to avoid. And you even have missions where you try to take girls out, and you're like, I'm trying to be normal. And you realize, I'll open the door for you. But
Is that his opening line? Those are his flirts.
I may sound weird.
Here, I'm trying to be normal.
What do normal people do? His backstory is he was in this war in Russia, and he's got a lot of mental problems pertaining to that war. And so that's part of this sort of darkness that I think seeps in. You can tell he's like a bomb ready to explode, but he's trying to keep it in. I really like that. You root for him, but at the same time, he's a psychopath. He really is. He'll kill anybody. And you get slowly intertwined into this criminal world. And like Grand Theft Auto 3, which is one of the reasons why I love this so much, is this sort of the ladder that you climb. You really feel it. Some of the people you meet at first are just like you. They're just shitty, low-life criminals, and they're just trying to get by. But as you move up, you meet like Brucey, who does car mods, and he's like a racer, but I think he might sell drugs too. But he's got like a helicopter for you. Things slowly move up. You take over one guy's apartment, you kill this dude, you get his place, and fantastic. So the story's there. There's choices that have to be made that in a small way affect the story. I think there's something with your romantic. There's a couple relationships you can have, so that's like integrated as well. And all that being said, so that's great. That's amazing. Like Grand Theft Auto 4, killing it with the story, the characters. Nico Bellic's such a famous character now. Like everyone knows who Nico Bellic is, and that's all good and fine. But there was what Grand Theft Auto obviously is known for, and what keeps it replay value high is just kind of wandering around the city and doing things. Mostly it's killing and like causing mayhem. But sometimes hell yeah. But sometimes
that's what's up, Grand Theft Auto.
Pacifist run.
No other Grand Theft Auto, in my opinion, including 5, had the physics, especially with the cars, the dialogue of the people, just sort of it really beckons you to come to places, and I'm a big fan of New York City in general, so I'm a little bit biased, but you really do feel like you can walk to Central Park, you can walk down to Broadway, you can walk to these places, you can go across the bridge, and you can go to like Brooklyn, you can go to these other spots, and it really feels massive, obviously, but it also feels like what New York is. And they did such a good, like with the hot dog vendors, with the bums running around, with the criminals you see running and the cops chasing them, right? Not to say they did not do a good job with Grand Theft Auto 5 being in LA. When I'm going to get to, I guess when I talk about my worst, like they're all great. You know what I mean? So picking Grand Theft Auto as a best worst is a really interesting.
I mean, there's still the one
experiment.
that's less. That's your least favorite
for me,
of all.
But I feel like all of them. And here's the thing that I never.
But we're not saying it yet.
No, I never played Vice City or San Andreas. Those are not spin-offs. Those are complete games, but they use the Grand Theft Auto 3 engine.
Right. That's what I've always thought they were.
So the big leap for me was from 2 to 3 and then 3 to 4. In 4 to 5, not so much, but 3 to 4, huge leap. And I don't know. I mean, when I think about Grand Theft Auto, that was the most fun I had in a Grand Theft Auto game. Being Nico Bellic, going through his crazy storyline, and just experience, like, it was big. And think about the leap that I explained from 2 to 3, going from a top down to the 3D world. That's huge. That's like Mario going to Mario 64.
Yeah.
You know, that's a really big deal.
Right.
And I thought it was just a big deal, just as a big deal from 3 to 4. The amount of improvements that they made, especially graphically. I mean, 3, you saw the images. 3 has not, I don't think, aged that well, but 4 still holds up pretty well.
4 looks good.
4 looks good.
Really, even 3 didn't look that bad. I mean, considering that it was 01,
Yeah.
it looked pretty good.
I mean, those games are pretty. Like they still stay. Like I see, like you can buy all of them on the App Store now. I think, and like so
totally.
they still have. There's apparently still a big enough market for all of them.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I mean, Grand Theft Auto is like definitely in the history books.
Oh,
for
for
video
sure.
game history. You know, that's a huge
5 sales records on its own probably cemented
Yeah.
it in.
and for
in
controversy, for gaming controversy.
Yeah, for gaming controversy.
Our youth, our children,
but
they're being corrupted.
I don't mind, that's I guess a sensitive topic, but I don't mind that they push these boundaries with like violence and characters. I mean, one of the first
It's
scenes
an art form. They do it in other art forms. Why can't we do it in video games too?
I agree. And one of the first scenes in 4, I think, is a guy having sex with like a kind of like in Pulp Fiction. We get like the
ball gag and stuff.
Yeah, like a ball gag.
BSD.
Yeah, and it's like, whoa, like Grand Theft Auto. It's fucking Grand Theft Auto.
Welcome to the world of Grand Theft Auto.
It's like I'm there.
How old were you when your mom let you buy this game? Like 11?
Well, 3's different. 3 never had
okay.
any. I don't remember anything that.
Okay.
4, I think it was with 4 and
3.
I feel like it was 4 and 5 where like
3 pushed boundaries too, though. 3 was
Really?
fun. So you could do some really messed up stuff, with like hookers and you could do some messed up stuff. But anyways, 4, I just had the cops were great. I don't know, just the feeling of 4.
everything about it clicked.
Everything about it clicked in such a wonderful way, and the excitement. A lot of it had to do with the leap from 3 to 4. That's huge for me. It's like this game. It's been improved so much from the previous title. So yeah, 4 for me in Grand Theft Auto. It's like Halo 2 from the Halo series. That's the one.
Nice.
That's the one that stands out for the series. So yeah, that's my best.
It's your Wind Waker.
It's like your Wind Waker. There you go.
Very nice.
The multiplayer sucked. I do remember not really liking the multiplayer. They did okay. It's just they had this one game type called Cops and Robbers that was such a good concept that just fell flat for some reason. I don't know. Maybe I just never played with good people.
Yeah.
But it's like 4 guys in a car and you can shoot out, and then 4 guys in a cop car chasing you. So you're like, oh, that's amazing. I love Cops and Robbers. But yeah, I don't know. It just didn't work. I don't know. It's laggy.
I'm a fan of the foot chase.
Yeah. There you go.
Who needs these automobiles?
Into parkour.
Yeah, but I will say running around free roam with your friend, that was fun. That's basically the map of New York with you and a friend doing whatever you want.
That's
no
cool.
missions.
That's cool.
Just do whatever you want. We go
That's
steal
cool.
a helicopter,
Just
fly around,
derping
and listen to the
around.
radio. Grand Theft Auto is famous for the radio. Grand Theft Auto 3's radio is great. 4 and 5 are more music oriented. 3 had talk shows that were like hilarious.
Oh, wow.
So
awesome.
good. That's crazy. Grand Theft Auto is
Is there like an
in-depth game.
OST out there of just the radio tracks?
There's gotta be.
Somewhere, somebody has them.
Someone needs that as their song. I know I just spoiled it, but somebody needs the talk show as their song.
Nice.
Yes, so
I've been meaning to go back and play more of the Grand Theft Auto series. But
4. I don't think you need to like play 3 to play 4. 4 is like
I don't think you need to play any of them to play.
No, you don't. Yeah, that's true.
But
they always start over.
4 is a good one. Like I've heard enough of that
solid
one. I
one.
need to go back and play it.
And it's a great story. Nico Bellic. Okay, sorry.
All right.
You all good? That's all good.
I will say there's a funny meme that circles it cracks me up every time. So you have a cell phone in the game. That's how which is brilliant, I think, especially for 2008. Whenever was it 7 or 8 when it came out? I was like, oh, this is brilliant. Messages, what to do next. It's all on a cell phone that kind of pops up. So you can get text messages from all your people that you meet. And Roman, the first guy, your cousin, is blowing you up constantly throughout the game. He's like, hey, cousin, you want to go bowling? And you can go bowling with him. You can go get drunk with him, and your whole screen goes wobbly. I mean, you can do all this stuff, which is great. You go to a strip club, of course, with Grand Theft Auto.
That's awesome.
But it gets to a point where it's insanely annoying. Like he's like, "Hey cousin, like
leave me alone."
Yeah, do you want to go? Yeah, let's go to the bar. And so there's a meme that's online where it's just 3 panels, and I might have told you guys this one, but it's Nico Bellic's hands opening a fortune cookie, and the last one is the fortune. It's like, Nico, it's your cousin Roger. Do you want to go bowling? You can't escape him. You can't escape him. Oh, that's such a I don't know whoever made that. Oh, that's brilliant. Awesome. It's just so funny. Nico, do you want to go bowling? All right, but yes, that's it. Grand Theft Auto 4, like so good. Watch the trailers for them. The trailer they do. Rockstar does
great stuff.
Oof.
It's good stuff.
That's how I'm going to troll you on your streams from now on. Hey, cousin.
Hey, cousin.
Mogan, what is your best game from a franchise?
It's definitely not that well fleshed out. So we're gonna set that bar nice, put it right back low. You'll be able to reach it very easily. So it is an older franchise as well, and in recent years, it's totally fallen off the face of the planet. So, and actually, it's juxtaposed very heavily against the worst. So the best is going to be a little bit weak, but then when you compare it to the worst, it's going to all make sense.
Okay.
So this would be Spyro.
Oh,
whoa. Do you guys remember Spyro?
I played very little of Spyro, but I have played very little of it.
So I'll start by saying the actual installment that I'm considering the best is going to be Spyro 3, Enter the Dragon.
Okay.
So, Enter the Dragon. Oh, but I need to go. So,
indeed. Funny.
Some high-class humor right there.
That's very clever.
I didn't come up with the name. Somebody else did. So this would have been in the year 2000. So this was the 3rd installment in 2000. It was also the last installment that they did by Insomniac Games.
Okay.
So Insomniac had been doing 1, 2, and 3. And Spyro, when it first came out in the very late 90s, what was it, 97? I
Probably.
think?
Yeah,
it was 97
PS1?
or 98.
Yeah, it was
Those sequels happened very rapidly. This would have been right around the time that our family got our very first PlayStation 1. So we only had like 4 games. The Legend of Dragoon, number 1. If I had other ones to juxtapose that with, I would have happily talked about it. We had Crash Bandicoot, which I thought about doing. I thought about Crash very hard. We had Tekken 2. I thought about Tekken a lot. There's a bajillion Tekkens. Actually, today, I know it's going to be past tense, today is Tekken 2's anniversary.
Oh, really?
This year in gaming.
Nice.
Is Tekken 2 a big one for you?
Oh, Tekken 2 was it started it all.
Okay.
A lifetime of Tekken, because we never played the first one. And for a lot of gamers, it was only in arcades. Yeah. So you only could play Tekken 1 in arcades. Yeah. So Tekken 2 was one of the first ones they put on the console. And we were like, oh my God, fighting! This is how I feel about my siblings all the time. This is great!
I can take out my anger in digital form.
Take out my anger. So Tekken 2, all of my child rage. And then Spyro, that was our game. So those were really kind of some of the only ones we had, just starting out as little baby Mogan gamers. Even our sister would play Spyro, and she's not that really into gaming. Crash was more her game. But my brother and I have loved Spyro for years and years, and we kept up with them very well. But getting back to Enter the Dragon. So the Spyro games are not very deep.
Yep, just tell it like it is, Mogan.
Just a platformer.
Good.
See, that's the thing. No one's playing Spyro for the story.
Right.
No one's playing Spyro for the characters, really. No one's playing it for the emotional attachment. People play Spyro for a really fun platformer. And that's really all it is to me and to most Spyro players. That's kind of the extent of it. So Spyro 3 was really just the culmination of everything that they had already established in Spyro 1 and 2, and they just improved on everything. So it's pretty common that in a series, you get a really good first game. A lot of times you get a mediocre second game. It's not that uncommon for things to continue to go downhill. Spyro definitely didn't do that at first. They went, 1, we've got a great game. 2, we've got a pretty good game. 3, we've got another great game. And a lot of Spyro fans would agree that Enter the Dragon is really quite up there. A lot of people are all about Ripto's Rage. That's Spyro 2. But
that might have been the one I played.
Yeah, maybe.
Ripto's Rage. Who comes up? He's great.
Ripto was this. So it was Spyro. The whole aesthetic of Spyro is very intentionally goofy. Like, Spyro is a goofy character. It's a goofy game. A lot of your characters and friends are just really silly. It's meant to be silly, good fun, where you're just hanging out as a little adorable purple dragon, and you've got your little dragonfly buddy Sparks. He's your health meter and gem collector, and you're just running around having a blast on all of these worlds and levels, which is where Spyro excels. So really the things about Spyro 3 that made it fantastic were level design, soundtrack. Do you know much about the Spyro soundtrack?
No, I don't.
So what's his name? Copeland? Is it Stuart Copeland, I think?
That sounds right.
He's done a lot of stuff. He's done more than just Spyro. He did like Spyro and a bunch of other weird things. And I was like, are you kidding me? He really did all of those? But so he did all of the Spyro games up until 3. And actually, even the ones beyond that after they left Insomniac Games. And it was boo. But in the beginning, the soundtrack was really like it's just level music. It's these repetitive little looping songs, but in Spyro 3, they just did a phenomenal job of making the most memorable, insanely catchy tracks you can think of. I still walk around sometimes thinking like certain tunes from the game, and I'm just like, yes, I'm in the Oasis now, collecting my gems.
Dude, OSTs are big.
Here I am in the cove, swimming around. It was a really good soundtrack, and every track went so well with the area you were in. So Spyro up until then had used like a hub design where you would make it to a certain area of the game that was really like your central hub to get to other levels. So there would be like portals that you would fly into, and most of the time you would need a certain amount of gems, which are just laying around in the world. You could collect them by killing enemies or just picking them up out of pots and just off the ground, kind of like rupees. And you would have to basically pay to enter certain portals. There's also a few different points of the game where you have to pay this guy named Moneybags. He's a very large bear-like creature. He wears a monocle and a suit and a vest, and he carries around a giant bag of money. And he's like, yes, small dragon, you have to pay me X amount of funds to enter this area. And you're like, God damn it, Moneybags.
Dragon. I'll kill you.
I'm a dragon. I'll kill you.
He's a bear.
But Spyro is little. He's
is
like
a
a little dragon. He's the smallest one.
He is.
So the whole premise of Enter the Dragon is you are Spyro, you and all the big dragons are just sleeping in a field out in the open, and you have all of your baby dragon eggs just strewn about all over the place, totally unguarded. And then everybody's just sleeping, so this hooded rabbit woman just walks right in with all of her little rhinoc, they're like these little rhinoceros creature, hench people, they just walk right over, grab all the eggs, and fucking go.
Motherfuckers.
And like the only thing that stops them from making a clean getaway is one of them steps on the tail of your buddy Hunter. He's a cheetah. He's a very goofy cheetah. Oh yeah, he's in it. And he wakes up and yelping, and everybody's like, oh shit, our baby dragon eggs. And so they peace out, and you're like, okay, here's my mission. I got to get back all the eggs. So you're literally just going through these levels to collect the eggs. You have to get them back because the enemy of Spyro 3 is the sorceress. Ooh. And she's actually not very fleshed out at all. She almost never interacts directly with you as Spyro. You see her in cutscenes, so you know that like she's the bad guy. But she really never comes to you, which in Spyro 2, Ripto's Rage, Ripto would show up and like monologue at you, and then he'd go away, and you'd be like, that guy!
I'll get you sometime.
The sorceress was always like the hidden enemy, and she wants the dragon eggs because she needs the wings from the baby dragons to make an immortality potion.
Sounds like Cruella de Vil
So
needed
she's
those
literally going to
Dalmatian
be
skins.
murdering baby dragons for their wings, and eventually, spoiler alert, in case you haven't played it,
I haven't. So
eventually,
It's playing right now.
once her actual plan gets out, her hench person, Bianca, that's the rabbit girl or whatever, actually defects. So about halfway through the game, she's really been your main protagonist up until then, because she's the one that comes to fight you and antagonize you, and you're like, this bunny. And then eventually she switches sides, and she's like, I know you don't trust me, but I'm going to be on your team from now on. Peace, bro.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Spyro 3 did incredibly well, which we'll talk about on the next installment of the worst version, the voice acting. Considering the fact that it was a 2000 era game, the graphics were not good. They still aren't good. They did not hold up well. But the voice acting was shockingly good.
Nice.
And whoever they got to voice Bianca did a fantastic job. She was right on character. Spyro always sounds good. He always sounds like an annoying dweeb of a dragon, and you're like, that's right. That's his character. That's who he is.
Seems accurate.
So they had a really good voice cast mixed with the really great OST and the killer level design.
Nice.
The levels are what makes Spyro,
Yeah.
and Enter the Dragon did it all right. That's why it's the best.
Look at that. Look at
Nice.
that box art there.
Oh, yeah.
It's classic.
Oh, that reminds me. You had other characters.
There you go. You got a penguin.
Forgot
a
all about
monkey.
that. So something that made Spyro 3 really unique is these other characters are actually rebels who are rebelling against the Rhinoc army.
Monkey
And
with a
you
gun.
can, the monkey with a gun. So what you do is you have to pay money bags to basically bail them out of jail, rebel jail. And then once you get them, you can play them in certain levels.
Nice.
And it's like this fun little dynamic where you get to go around and be these other characters.
Very cool.
That Yeti character,
Yeah.
actually his name is, I think it's Bentley.
What?
I
funny.
think, no, no.
My mom's name?
No, look it up.
My
what's his
mom's
name?
name is
My
Bentley, in case
mom's
listeners didn't
name.
know that. Year of the Dragon.
What up, Bentley?
What's going on, Bentley? She's going to be stoked to hear that. She listens to every
Gets a
episode.
shout out.
Does she really?
Yeah, kind of. She's like, I don't know what you guys are talking about.
But I listen to
But I
support you.
listen to my baby.
Is that what she
No,
sounds
my
like?
mom could be
It's
probably the
Bentley.
exact opposite of that.
His name is Bentley.
That's great.
It's Bentley the Yeti.
That's
it could
funny.
be a guy's name or a girl's name.
Look, that's your mom.
Hey, Mom, got a picture
Hey,
of you.
mom,
Old
you look
picture.
great.
Where'd you get that great
you
ring?
look really good. Actually,
diamond.
what's funny is Bentley was arguably the worst part of the game, just
My mom would
because.
resent that one.
No, so his actual
Hey, you're the worst part of Spyro 3. She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I don't know what you just said.
So his actual mechanics are pretty good. You know, you're him. You're like this lovable goon. But you eventually get to this mini game where you have to box against this other Yeti type creature. It was the most stupidly difficult thing you've ever done in your life. And like the whole fight would probably only take about 20 minutes, but if you did anything wrong, you were dead. And so that's like a notorious point in the game where people are like, forget it, fucking get it, rage quit. But yeah, Enter the Dragon.
All
Number
right.
one in the Spyro series. So not one of my number one games overall, but of the Spyros, top shelf.
All right.
Nice.
All
Top
right.
shelf game.
Nice.
What do you got, Jarrett?
All right, so mine is from another big gaming franchise. Can anyone guess?
it
Does
The Last
anyone
of
want to
Us?
guess? Nope.
Assassin's
No, wait,
Creed.
I'm not done guessing.
No?
I always thought it was
That was a good
That's my
guess.
backup. If you guys aren't going to make
It's a
me.
good guess. No, wait, let us keep guessing. Is it The Witcher? I know you haven't played 2 or 3. You can't fool me. And it's not Mass Effect.
No, I haven't played
He
Mass
hasn't
Effect.
played Mass Effect.
Not yet.
Oh, what?
That, I have
You
it
own the collection and you
because it
haven't
was like
played
on
it?
sale for $12 and I had to steal,
Dark
snatch it
Souls?
up. Nope.
I'm just looking over there and just seeing what game. Gears of War.
No.
Dead Space.
No.
He hasn't
Doom.
played Dead Space.
No.
Dark Souls.
No.
Civilization.
No. Ooh.
Oh, that would have been a good
That would have
one.
been a good one,
Yeah.
but no.
All right, I give up.
Oh, wait.
Oh, come on. You said it earlier.
Oh, did I really? Oh,
What?
shit.
What?
Not when you were guessing for me.
Oh, Mortal Kombat.
No.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Forza.
Oh my
What did
God.
I say?
Okay, I'm just going to say Call of Duty.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
Okay,
you can
because
talk
I've talked
about
about like Modern Warfare and stuff like that. But so I'm not going to do the best out of the whole Call of Duty series because there's so many different ones. And they all branch into different times. That seems silly to say like this one. Although I still think Modern Warfare is the best one so far.
Okay.
Which got that remaster on pre-order.
Nice. Nice.
I'm excited for it. It's the only reason why I'm getting
Swanky.
Infinity.
When does it come out? 1,000 years from
November
now?
4.
Oh,
1,000 years from now.
that's not that
1,000
far.
years.
4th of November. But no, so I'm doing one of the branches of the Call of Duty franchise.
Okay.
Black Ops.
Yes.
Oh,
I played one
we
of
even
those.
had some black. Oh, it's not this time. Never mind.
I think I played Black Ops
Time warp.
2.
So the best one of the Black Ops series is Black Ops, the first one.
Oh.
Oh, okay. Going
It has
first.
been said, therefore it is.
indeed.
It is indeed. I have decreed it so.
Me lord.
My Lord Jarrett.
Me lord Jerrett has
No
decreed
malady
so.
striking our cause today.
Melody.
All right. So Black Ops. This one was great because it kind of tied into a previous game that was another World War II one. And I felt like this series franchise, I had the best knowledge of overall because I've played all the Call of Duty games except for 3. But this one takes place, it came out, I believe, after World at War, which took place during World War II, but like more from like the, whatever. Irrelevant. But a character from World at War crosses over into Black Ops. So you are Alex Mason. In this and the game starts off, it's in the Cold War, so in the 60s and stuff like that, which was a cool,
Interesting.
interesting time
Yeah.
period,
Yeah.
right?
Already fascinating.
Yep. And so the game starts off, you're in Cuba because you're on a mission to assassinate Fidel Castro. And so you assassinate him, but then
Oh, you succeed?
you do,
wow.
but then it's revealed it's a body double.
Just kill a double.
But it's this really cool moment because you like bust in
Jeez.
through his mansion. And he's like there, and he tries to use this woman as a body shield, and
Oh,
you just
come
like
on.
Jesus.
cap him in the face. But anyway, so overall, while this one's great, it follows the same formula of a first-person shooter Call of Duty series. You go to a lot of places, you shoot a lot of guys, you blow stuff up, and you accomplish things. But the story of Black Ops is what sold it for me. You're Alex Mason, like I said, when you're escaping from trying to kill Castro, you're captured and you're taken to a Russian prison where you meet this guy, Viktor Reznov. Viktor Reznov is the character from World at War that you meet. He's this like Soviet soldier that you meet, and I think he's your captain or something like that. Anyway, you interact with him there. Fun fact, voiced by Gone Blank.
Willem Dafoe.
No.
Damn it.
Morgan Freeman.
No. What the shit?
Gary
Jake
Busey.
Gyllenhaal?
Gary Oldman.
Oh, I said Gary Busey. That's what
spurred it for me.
Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. That's
Gary
right? That
Busey?
doesn't sound right for some reason.
He's like,
That doesn't sound right for some reason. Gary Oldman's right? That's his name.
I don't know, man.
Man, that for some reason now that doesn't sound right in my head.
Gary Oldman.
My vote's for Gary Busey.
Wait, Gary Oldman.
Ron Perlman?
That is not right. That doesn't sound
No,
right.
I don't
at
know
all.
if Gary Oldman's.
Because Ron
wait, no.
Perlman.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right. Gary
that's right.
Oldman. Okay,
Yeah.
Esteemed British actor whose name I could not remember. But anyway, so he does the voice of Viktor Reznov, which is just kind of cool. And actually, Black Ops also had, God bless,
Ellen Page.
no.
Damn it.
Ellen DeGeneres.
Well,
Kate
no.
Blanchett.
Black Ops had a lot of big names in. Oh, Ice Cube was a voice in Black Ops,
was a thrill of a lifetime.
And so was oh crap.
So what year was this while you're looking that up? When
Yeah,
did,
I
when
will
did the
look.
first Black Ops come out?
It was late. Oh, it had to have been like 2009, 2010.
Okay. More recent.
Yeah, it's a more recent one. But anyway, like I was saying, the story is what gets it because you get captured and you're taken to this prison. And when you're in prison, you meet Viktor Reznov, and he is telling you about how all these dudes that you got captured by, which you got captured by the bad guy. Your main antagonist in this one is Nikita Dragovich. And he's basically trying to launch this big plan to attack the U.S. with this chemical gas Nova 6. Reznov is like,
Bad news. Biological warfare.
I know, right?
Never good.
It's never good. But anyway, so you eventually try to escape the prison with the help of Victor, and he gets killed in the process. Aww. But anyway, so
Bummer.
and then you go, and then as you go out throughout the game, you keep having these like weird flashbacks and things go wrong. Like you get, so it seems apparent that you might have undergone some form of brainwashing.
Oh God!
While you were taken by the Soviets, and so then it's like this whole thing of, well, it becomes this like political intrigue story, basically, of like, well, if you got brainwashed, are you still okay to be fighting with your guys?
Yeah,
Is there
are
some
you a
ulterior
plant?
motive? Are you a plant?
Yeah.
Exactly. All this other stuff happens. So you're going throughout the game later, and you see, and then you're fighting some guys, and lo and behold, Victor shows back up. So it's like, oh, you didn't die. This is awesome. We can be friends, and and beat the bad Russians because you're a good Russian, but these bad Russians, we gotta stop these guys. And as you go throughout the deal later, you realize that not only were you were actually brainwashed, and you're being pursued by the some factions of the U.S. government who are trying to stop you because they decided that part of the plot also is you were going to be used as a plant to kill the U.S. president. So
Very
which would have been
Zoolander. I like it.
Relax.
yeah.
Relax. You want to go to?
Except blue steel doesn't freeze flying.
Right.
Well, you got to use
stars.
Magnum. It's Magnum.
Oh, that's
Come on,
right,
turn
Magnum.
left. Magnum.
Beautiful.
The school for ants. But anyway, so it becomes to this. But then also things happen. Like you wind up killing some of Dragovich's henchmen.
Jerrett.
I hit a button. It's my bad.
Okay.
That's like 3 episodes in a row.
I'm sorry. But you wind up killing some henchmen, but it's like people you're trying to keep alive. But then you always say like, no, Victor did it. I wasn't there and all this stuff.
Can I get that on a shirt?
And so
Victor did it.
I know. I'm free. Let me pass. And so all this happens, and it eventually comes out that no, Victor really did die. But before you tried the escape in the prison, he was able to reverse engineer your brainwashing to make it where your mission was to kill the Russian guys. that the U.S. was trying to take alive to get more intel
So
on.
he double planted you. He
Jesus.
planted
Basically.
you.
Those
So it's like
writers
this
must have
big-
been like, what if you reverse brainwashed him? Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of this big story that
Yeah.
like kind of like with some twists and
That's
tangles and everything.
cool.
So
That is cool.
Yeah.
You know, it was a little bit more layers than what you would expect
Yeah.
in
I was
like
about
a
to
Call
say,
of
story.
that's more than I was expecting from
From a
Call
shooter.
of Duty.
Yeah.
And so, and also too, like it was really awesome being that, you know, you'd been used to World War II games and up until that point, but now you were in the 60s, so you had a little bit better tech and some stuff like that. You had like remote controlled like bomb cars, like in the multiplayer and stuff like that.
Nice,
That were
yep.
pretty cool. Some other things like that. The multiplayer is still one like I'll turn it on every once in a while, go back to because it had some really great maps. And so like there's all this different stuff that, you know, the story above all is what sold it. And so, but I will point out how it vastly differs from the worst.
Okay.
We're getting to them very
Now
soon.
we're getting to the worst. Huh?
Yeah.
All
right.
right. Should we break it up?
Zachary
Oh
Shepard.
yeah, let's.
Zachary Shepard.
Do you have
the real
I do.
hero?
The real hero.
of the universe. I don't know about those other shepherds.
I do have
I thought I was
going
going to be able to change my last name.
Oh, in Mass
That's
Effect.
the joke.
Yeah, he has to say.
just
Oh,
listening?
can you hit the camera? So yeah, for those who, he's talking about Mass Effect. He has to Mass Effect.
Mass Effect.
not sure I'm pronouncing
Grammatically correct.
Mass Effect.
All right, so we'll take a break before we
Game
go.
sounds made up.
Before we go into our the worst. Sorry, before we go into the worst, is now time for Moment with Mogan.
Yay, pause.
We don't have to do say.
Okay, we're good. So I don't have much as far as rumors go because this far into the future, I'm not able to plan ahead.
We're having to record ahead
We're
to,
having to record
schedule
ahead.
for some upcoming travel that we have. So
Sorry. Luckily, the month of September is looking like it's going to be a really good month for tons of all kinds of releases out the wazoo.
fraught with good games.
Fraught with good games, indeed. So for starters, this is actually one I'm super psyched about. BioShock the Collection
Oh yeah,
is coming out September 13th.
That'll be good.
Xbox, PC, and PS4. Big sweep. This is finally, I've been meaning to play Infinite for the longest time.
You'll have a
And
great
I just
time.
still
Your
haven't.
reason
I
to.
still haven't.
You'll
So this
enjoy
is
it.
this is my time. I still love BioShock 2.
Very good game.
BioShock 1, man. I probably could have done
I need to play
BioShock
2.
for this one actually, because once you replay BioShock 1, once the magic wears off, it's a little difficult, but this will be a great time to go back and revisit a fantastic series. And then in other series revive news, Dead Rising 2, and Dead Rising 2 Off the Record are all coming out also September 13th for Xbox One and PS4.
Cool.
I've
Nice.
never played any of the Dead
neither.
Rising games.
haven't
Could
either.
not give
Looks like-
less of a crap.
I thought you played. Oh, Dead Island.
Dead Island. Dead Rising looks. I mean, it looks fun too, but it looks more fun than Dead Island. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
So those are not actually a collection. They are releasing them all separately, but on the same day.
That's interesting.
It wasn't
Normally
like,
they're always bundled.
no, it wasn't. From what I could tell, it didn't look like a package deal because the way they had them advertised was, nope, here's Dead Rising 2, Dead Rising 2 Off the Record.
Interesting.
And I was like, interesting. It wasn't like, oh, Dead Rising the collection. So I assume that that's how they're actually going to be releasing it. For indie gamers and people who like a little bit something different, Don't Starve Together is coming also September 13th for PS4. Have either of you seen the Don't Starve series?
I've seen it. I just haven't. Again,
It's kind of like
I've got a lot of stuff to play.
It's a more, not cutesy, but it's a more cartoonish take on like a survival horror game.
Yeah.
Because like you're this little character, he's kind of, I hate saying the words Tim Burton-esque because it's overdone to death.
But he's got like
But
crazy hair.
he's kind of like that.
he's-
And I don't like it. F you, Tim Burton. No,
They've
it's
released a lot of it.
taking credit
You're
for
so
other people's work.
Good at what you do. You've spawned
good
a
at
whole
what you do.
world.
Boo.
They've released a lot of games for that one because there's like Don't Starve, Don't
they
Starve
have.
Shipwrecked,
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
Starve. I think there's a
There's
third
a lot
one
of
before
them.
this one. Yeah.
And then there's Don't Starve Together. So you have a lady friend now.
Aw.
Yay.
Found love in the hopeless
so now,
place.
now you get to
Finally.
not die together. And then this is the one that I got confused with Firewatch last episode. They are porting The Witness to Xbox.
Oh.
So The Witness is coming to Xbox One. I'm sure you will never play it, but if you wanted to, now would be your chance. Also September 13th. So these are really all coming out September 13th. And then the last
day.
on the list, there was more, but I actually had to edit it down. Recore
Oh, yeah.
September 13th for Xbox One and PC.
That looks like an interesting platform.
It does look interesting. So Recore, get it on your radar.
It's on it.
Recore on the radar.
Recore on the radar. It's also not one of those full price games. So for the
Oh, it's
gamer,
not?
no. So for the gamer on the budget, Recore, go for it.
Nice.
All
Or
right,
better yet,
all
play
right.
The Witness.
There you go.
Xbox
Kiddies.
users,
Because, Recore is an exclusive for
yeah,
Xbox.
it is. It's an exclusive. So
Get on it,
Point for
Xbox
Xbox.
players.
Point for Xbox.
Point for Xbox.
We're still keeping that
where's
tally,
the tallies?
right?
We need a dry erase
Yeah,
board.
we do.
That's what we should be marking.
PS4 versus Xbox.
I want that. I'm
right.
gonna go to the
We
store
need
and
that.
buy a dry erase board.
All
We're
right.
putting it right.
We'll put it right
yeah,
there.
we gotta do that.
Yeah,
We'll do it.
I love it. New thing on my flex day tomorrow when I'm working.
I hope you don't. Hope your boss doesn't listen to TCP. 2 weeks ago, you didn't work on
I
Friday.
actually did tell. He's not my direct boss. He's like the director of marketing or whatever. I was like, I've been on a podcast for like a year, right? And he was like, holy shit, no,
He's a
I didn't
dork.
know that. And he was like, what's it about? And I was like, video games. And he was like,
like, "Oh, well,
my
have a good lunch."
children love video games. And I was like, F you.
You should be an adult gamer, bro.
Yeah.
Right, bro,
Like, can I see
come
you after
on.
lunch and talk about
Get it, bro.
your place in this company?
Right. Well, I've been working on getting my coworkers on board for a long time, and so far I've
appreciate
made
it.
no progress.
Right. But it's not going to stop you, though.
It's going
the
well.
thought that counts.
It's going
It is
well.
thought that counts.
We have like quarterly events, and I totally suggested that we all go to the Legend of Zelda Symphony. The CEO herself shot me down.
Wow.
Damn.
Wow. Who suggested that? Who just said that?
She was like, "You
No.
don't get to pick any more of the events.
Who said that? Everyone shut up.
You're fired." And
You're
I was
fired.
like,
You're fired
"Oh."
immediately. Get some culture up in
shot
here.
right
That's all I was
down.
trying to do.
I was like, harsh CEO.
Man. I would have gone. I would have said yes.
No, right? What's up with these people? We went to something lame too.
She
It
probably
wasn't even
secretly
better.
loves Zelda,
I
but
know,
she's protecting
right?
an image, you know?
Right?
It's a whole
Yeah.
thing.
It's all a front.
Yeah.
I know what she's really
I
about.
hate Link. Oh, I mean Zelda. Which one? I always get confused. Wait,
I definitely don't know what
the
I'm
girl,
talking
right?
about.
Yeah. Only a true
You
Zelda.
play as Zelda, right?
I'm on to her.
All right, so Zach, what is
I'm
the
gonna-
worst in Grand Theft Auto?
I'm gonna fly through this because I'm wrong, and but it's what I believe.
Well, go for it.
so it's like-
that's what matters.
don't
I'm
undercut
wrong,
yourself, man.
but it's what I
You're
believe.
right.
This podcast is built around our opinions.
It's
so,
true.
You know,
I'm just saying I'm wrong, but
and
it's
for
what I
someone like me who knows nothing about Grand Theft Auto, I'm just
Right.
going to believe you.
so she'll never play this one.
I'll
is what
never
you're
play
saying.
these.
You're gonna skip it.
Go on ahead
Well,
and tell
it's
me
the
to
most
skip it.
recent one.
5?
Yeah.
Oh.
5's been my least favorite that I've played.
Really?
Yeah.
So why? Well, no. I mean, I've only.
Your beliefs are wrong.
You see that? You see that door?
Yeah.
You can just go walk through it.
I say, okay, here's what I'm going to say about Grand Theft Auto 5.
Well, because I've
It's a
only played
masterpiece.
5.
Oh wait, look, there it is.
There it is.
Right up there on the
There's a
wall.
piece of
Yeah,
it.
you can't see
Look
it.
at that piece of
Very
crap
small.
up
Look
there.
at that piece of shit.
That's the soundtrack, though, which soundtrack is.
Amazing. And the game is amazing. It's a masterpiece in a lot of ways.
But it's a subpar masterpiece
subpar
that deserves
masterpiece.
our ridicule.
deserves to be put back and tried again. Nope, try again, Rockstar. No. I want to. Yeah, I need to preface by saying I think Grand Theft Auto 5 is a great game.
Oh,
it's a
it's
masterpiece.
fantastic.
It's unbelievably good. That being said, how I described 4 and its evolution from 3, and 3 from its evolution of 2, 5 did not have that evolution from 4, in my opinion.
Hey, I mean, if you're used to that, if you're used to the jump, and it's
I
not
was
there.
used to the jump, and I'm used to them leaps and bounds getting better. It did leaps, but not bounds.
Ooh, biting
Tip of the hat to you,
commentary.
sir.
Man, we're on a roll for this second episode.
Witty.
What's the years gap? So 08 to what?
13.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So another
Yep.
big gap.
Another big gap.
So again,
And no
Plenty of
improvement,
room for
weirdly
improvement.
enough.
Well, you know, so it takes place in Los Angeles and sort of these surrounding mountainous areas that you could find if you drive far enough out. You know, it's a condensed area, right? And it's got Los Angeles that kind of blends into this mountain range that goes into some beaches and like a desert area where Travis lives and...
Trevor.
Yeah, Trevor.
Let's call him Travis. I
It's
like
Travis
it.
now. That's how much I hate this game. No, it's so not true. And it's a kind of a big. I don't know. I kind of always saw the map as a really big ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like kind of just a big ring, but the city is in one central location, and it's beautiful. It is. The gameplay is unbelievable. The side characters are great. I'm trying to remember some of the side characters.
Well, like the guys, I especially like all the Trevor's henchmen.
Yeah, Trevor henchmen are pretty good.
The little Trevors, if you will.
They're all just
Michael,
they
Michael,
all sound
Trevor.
really dumb. Franklin is the main. Those are the main characters.
Oh, Franklin's got his friend, the gangster
Lamar.
friend, Lamar. Michael's got his family.
Which
Here's
his
the
son is
thing.
basically like Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
which is
here's the
hilarious.
thing for me.
Looks
about
like Jonah Hill.
Grand Theft Auto 5. I played it a lot, and it didn't really get old. But 4 didn't get old either. But 5 didn't get old to play. Like, it's a fun game to replay. Obviously, it's a great game. It has a huge following. For me, the biggest setback for 5 was I did not feel the need, nor did I really think I'd get anything out of it. Like, nor the need, I guess, and the want to replay the story once I finished it. As much as I like Franklin, Michael, and Trevor, as much as they are really actually kind of interesting fleshed out characters, compared to 4, when I talk about like the grittiness of 4, I think what I'm really talking about is their sort of realism they tried to put into it. 5, I really think these are caricatures of people that you might find, especially Michael in like LA. You know, he's like an LA guy that's unhappy but has all this wealth. You know, they're very much
They're almost like caricatures.
yeah caricatures.
Yeah.
And they feel exactly. So they're like these kind of it's 5 overall felt a bit cartoonish, even in the look a little bit.
Its look is more.
I get that it's LA.
Cartoon.
Like what they did is right. You know, I don't think they should
For the environment.
Yeah, for the environment.
given
Basically,
environment.
I think the biggest things I'm finding out as I'm talking is I like New York environment a lot better and the feel than the Los Angeles look and feel. You know, that was a huge thing. But also, if I will be critical of the game, the characters, like I said, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, as much as they are, they're interesting. To me, they weren't memorable. Maybe Trevor. Trevor was a memorable character. He really stood out as somebody that I'll remember for a long time. But no way like Nico Bellic or his cousin Roman, other characters that sort of... Of course, how can I forget him? Or Brucey. I don't know. These characters in 4 felt real, felt honest, and felt... They weren't trying to be crazy, zany, over the top. 5 is an over the top game in a lot of different ways, and
we know you're not a fan of that.
That's not my
That's
style.
why I haven't been able to really get into the multiplayer Grand Theft Auto Online.
Yeah,
it's just too
mayhem.
much.
It's just mayhem, dude, and it's like
I can't make any sense of it.
Everyone's
I need
got
structure.
I know. It's just, and I had fun playing 5 with my friends when we do our own thing. You know, we go fly planes together. That's amazing. It's an amazingly big, massive, cool looking game, but. Again, it's a lot of it's over the top. The story is ridiculous of how these people come together and the stuff that they do together. And it's funny because the way they frame the game at the beginning, the first mission that you do, you're in like North Dakota, Minnesota.
Yeah.
You're in like, you do like a robbery in like a snow village in like North
Middle of
Dakota.
nowhere.
The snow level.
The snow level. And it's great. It's got a great atmosphere. The feeling there is awesome. And then once you get to LA, everything sort of changes and the family. And it's also, it kind of bore me down with a lot of like the political agenda. It tried to, everything's so in your face of this is making fun of this. It's very satirical. And Grand Theft Auto has always been satirical to definitely a degree, but 5 really throws it in your face. And it's fine. It's funny. A lot of it works. But again, I just don't like the presentation. I don't know. Everything just felt like, look how funny this is. Look how great this is. And I was like, dude, I just, it's like
just a little
Just give
too
me
in
grit.
your
Just give me
face.
darkness.
give me
Yeah.
give me the darkness.
No, I
there's
get
that
it.
one
I get
mission
it.
where
If
you
that's what
kill
it's-
like Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah.
You do, like with a phone and then like he's dancing around on stage like give me money and like we're gonna give away all your secrets. Like, oh, this is so of the moment, which is great. It's you need stuff like that, but I don't know, like it just doesn't rub me like the right way for some whatever reason.
No, I get it. And I know it's a thing of Grand Theft Auto games, but like there was a couple missions that I was just like, why am I having to do this?
Oh, you get like tow trucks
Well,
for
like-
like a couple missions.
Yeah,
You
or
know,
like
you're
the one
a
where
tow truck man.
you practice yoga with Michael's wife,
and you have to
and it's
hit
just
the
like, and you have to
buttons.
do it
I
all,
know.
and I was just like,
And
why
it's like,
am I
get
doing
this
this?
yoga
Like,
instructor's funny and like so
and like your
caricature.
wife's into him because like she's into her
Right.
tennis coach that you caught, banging,
Yeah.
you know,
And
it's just like
it's in depth. It's cool that it's there, but
Right.
I didn't really care. I just don't care about these characters. They're bad people. They're all like bad to me. You know, they're all like
Franklin's the only
Franklin.
one.
Yeah, Franklin. Actually, I can sort of get by his morals and what he's doing, but Trevor and Michael, I'm just like, I don't care about these guys.
Trevor-
Franklin, I did like, actually.
Trevor, he's crazy and he's wild and he's out of control.
Right,
and
that's his thing.
and that's cool, but it also got a little wearing after a while.
It is. It's
I
like
liked
everything he says is crazy.
I liked Mike. He's always like, "Oh, well, get out of my truck!"
Yeah,
he's
I know,
always
it's
like
like,
yelling and stuff
yeah.
like that. And it's just like Michael, I did like, just because he, I don't know, I liked that he's just kind of like, I've got all the, like you said, he's this unhappy, unhappy. He's got all this stuff, nice house, and all this other thing, nice cars, but he's like unhappy because he just wants to go like be who he was before,
right? Which is
Which
criminal.
I mean,
he's
I
supposed
get
to be
it.
a criminal.
Some people are lifelong criminals. It's how some people are wired. But it's just, but still, I liked him a little bit more. But Trevor, it's like I got a little tired of his overly zany weirdness.
And I mean, like again, there's not a lot of terrible things to say. I'm being very, very critical on the game. And the other thing that bugged me was the physics from 4 to 5. 4 physics, and I like physics a lot. The 4 physics felt so much better. And this is a funny analogy, and but this is what you do in Grand Theft Auto. Sometimes you run, you run over a lot of people on a sidewalk, right?
Yeah,
you run over like 50 people.
Got to run away from the cops, and sometimes there's just collateral damage.
This is when 4, when you hit people, like you really felt your car slow down. You did.
Really felt him under the
really
wheels,
felt the bumper.
crunching around.
And you'd hit 4, then 5, then 6, and you were like, I'm really slowing down now.
I better quit hitting people if I want to get away.
These are good physics. And then 5, you just like slice right through them. So I was like, that's different. And even the car wrecks in 4 to 5 are different. The cars in 4 have weight. The cars in 5 don't have much weight. You're flying all over the place. That's a small thing, but it meant a lot to me.
No, that kind of stuff makes a difference.
I'll tell you, the first time I played it, I was like, oh no, I don't like this game. I was driving around and I did not like the way it felt driving. I was like, oh boy. And
Who
there's a lot of driving in the game. I mean, it's in the name.
It's a driving game. And then I shot a car a lot. With like a assault rifle. I was like, oh, okay, let's see the bullet holes. And like, I honestly do that every time I get a first person shooter. I like find something and I shoot on like bullet holes.
Yeah, you want to see what it's like.
Shells on the ground, check. I don't know why I like that. But yeah, so I shot like this van and it like didn't see bullet holes. The damage didn't look good to me. And the explosion looked like a cartoon explosion. And I was bummed. I was bummed. But I got used to it. Blah, blah, blah. Great game. Not as good as 4, in my opinion.
Boom.
Well, there it is.
Multiplayer's a hell of a lot better.
Do you want to give it the Mogan Boo?
Do I want to give it the Mogan Boo?
Is it?
It's not
deserving enough of the boo.
I can't give Grand Theft
It's
Auto
still a
5
great game.
The Mogan Boo, the worst review possible.
I saw a tweet. Colin Moriarty, one of the kind of funny guys, he tweeted out the other day, and I saw this. This is kind of funny. Grand Theft Auto 5 was the best-selling game at retail in the United States for the month of July. It came out nearly 3 years ago.
Wow.
That's pretty.
That's insane.
That's an accomplishment.
It is. I mean, the game is so well put together.
Oh yeah, it's still a great game.
But what are dollars to actual quality?
And then it's like,
but compared to the others,
and it was cool because like it came out originally for PS3 and Xbox 360, and then when the new consoles came out, the new the next generation of consoles came out, they then released the one for Xbox One and PS4, which added some new features like being able to play first person,
which is really cool.
The editor mode and all this stuff where you can make like all these videos, which have produced some excellent content online.
I will say there's kind of a little weird thing that kind of pertains to why I don't know if I just don't like it enough, but I did not get it for the new gen console. So
I got it for because 360. I hadn't got far enough into the previous gen version to be like, oh, it's going to kill me if I restart. So I got it for
I felt
PS4.
like I had gotten what I needed out of it from 360, and all my friends got it. And they're like, just get it. Like, we still play it. And I was like, nope. That was more of a principle of I'm not going to buy a game twice.
I agree with that.
I get that.
I just won't do it.
I get that. It has to be a very special game for me to buy, like a remaster or a
Master Chief
re-release.
Collection I did, but that's a lot of games there.
Yeah, that's like 4 games.
Yeah, that's different.
Can't go wrong with that.
And I saw that side by side. You showed that to me. The difference in graphics.
It's ridiculous.
Oh my god!
Oh yeah, we watched Halo 2
God.
cinematics.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I was like, holy crap!
Ridiculous. All right, so what is the worst game
from
in
Spyro?
Spyro?
First of all, I have to correct myself. I totally got my titles crisscrossed. Technically, the best was Year of the Dragon, not Enter the Dragon. My bad.
So we were all laughing about this.
We were all shitting on the wrong game. So it's Year of the Dragon is the best. The next one, very similar. So first of all, in the Spyro community, this is a popular opinion. No one is going to fight me on this. Enter the Dragonfly. The 4th Spyro game came right after 3, is easily the worst installment, bar none. No one will fight me on this. I dare you. I dare you to fight me on this, because everyone, it's a shining example of a game that took a franchise that was really on its up, because Spyro's 1, 2, and 3 all kind of curved up, and then immediately tanked it.
Bummer.
Like, Enter the Dragonfly is looked at as what basically killed the Spyro series, because everything that came after Enter the Dragonfly wasn't compared to 1, 2, and 3. It was compared to Enter the Dragonfly. And everyone went, we're not going to play that piece of shit game again. So this is largely because they changed hands. So I mentioned that Insomniac Games had Spyro all the way up until 2000 with Year of the Dragon.
Okay.
And then they basically said, hey, we don't want it anymore. We feel like we've taken Spyro as far as he can and should go. So we're going to let go of it. And whoever took it over for Enter the Dragonfly, I don't know who, but they effed it up epically. Okay, so you know how sometimes character models, especially in older games, don't quite match up with their voice acting?
Yep.
And you know those mechanical creatures that are like a joke from Chuck E. Cheese type things that are like cartoonish, but they're also terrifying? That's what
Five
the
Nights at Freddy's.
characterization was like in Spyro. It was a mix of graphics, video game graphics, but you got the feeling of horrifying mechanical creatures. And their modeling was phenomenally bad. Like, it's so weird. Spyro 3 to Enter the Dragonfly, down. It's a downgrade, which you almost never see that. You very rarely see a game
unless
go
it's a dramatic
backwards.
switch in like art style, like
It
in Zelda,
wasn't.
but
It
it's
was
not. It's just
they
like
very much tried to keep it the same art style. You could argue that from a distance and without your glasses on, it looks like the same game. But
Okay.
then once you put them back on, you're like, oh, we're in a nightmare land. This is a weird alternate universe nightmare. So it's actually like you should look up some of the cutscenes. They're hilariously
I kinda
horrible.
want to.
So like characters will be talking, and then their faces, it's really weird. They have like these weird bulging eyes to like indicate their expressions, combined with mouths that are way too wide.
Ooh.
Like their mouths go all the way back here and then like go like this to talk. And it's just like, oh my God, horrible nightmare creature. Please get away from me. So like imagine those motions, but not synced up with the voice you're hearing. And you're just like, dear sweet Jesus, this is horrible. There's a really funny one of Moneybags. So Moneybags, oh, it's awful.
oh yeah.
Oh, it's horrible. Look at how bad that is. Ugh.
So like, what year was this one?
This was only about 2 years. This was 2001 or 2. It
Okay,
wasn't
so I
that
mean,
far
graphics
behind.
weren't fantastically far advanced, but like still, that looks
it's
bad for even.
funky stuff.
Yeah. And actually, what's interesting is they appeared to have been making more of a push to give it a more 3D look.
Yeah.
Because Spyro 3 was a little bit flatter. It was a little bit more 2D, but that didn't hurt the game, because that was what they had at the time, and but based on the rest of the game, it matched. What's interesting is the characters look extremely out of place in their environment, because the environments, the levels, still look pretty comparable to Spyro 3, but you have this very noticeable mismatch. It's not just actual characters that you interact with, it's regular enemies out and about in the world that have this really out of place look, and you're just like, oh God, something is wrong here.
So it's like they spent most of their budget on like the modeling of the
They
people
spent their
of the
budget
characters.
on booze and were hammered
from
when they
Mogan.
made this game. I don't know what they were thinking. And a lot of people have pointed to the fact that this is a product of rushed development.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yeah.
I just
They
looked
tried to
that up.
release it way too soon after Spyro 3 to push on that momentum, because Spyro had momentum at the time, and they released this piece of crap game that tanked the whole series. And oh, don't worry, there's more. I just have to refer to my notes real quick. In addition to not already having much of a story, there's really not that much of a plot to Spyro. Enter the Dragonfly had even less than that. So it comes right off the heels of Spyro 3. You've gotten back all of the baby dragon eggs. You're having a party to celebrate that you got back all the baby dragon eggs. And all of the baby dragons are about to get their own dragonflies. Spyro has his
adorable.
dragonfly. They're all going to get theirs. It's very like Link and his fairy. So you're like, oh, this is great. And then, of course, Ripto from Ripto's Rage shows back up, and you're like, no, we killed him. And the game's like, oh, no, when you thought you killed him, he actually just went back to his regular dimension. It's like, horse apples. I killed that.
I call BS.
I call BS. Shenanigans. So that was something that was just annoying. Ripto comes back. They didn't even have time to make a new character for you to fight against. And basically all he does, it's really weird in the opening cutscene. Everyone's like awake. Everyone knows what's happening. Spyro's right there. Ripto's right there. And he's like, we're taking all of these dragonflies. And it's like, Spyro, you can breathe fire. Fuck him up right here. What are you doing? But they kind of just sit around and let them take all the dragonflies for reasons unknown. And you're like, great, this is awesome. So you're already off to a shaky start. And then the characters that they had from the previous games were noticeably flatter. I don't think they kept a lot of the same voice actors around, so even characters that you loved before, like Bianca from Spyro 3, who had a lot of heart and a lot of character, she was barely in it, which is a shame because she had a really strong character in a game that comparatively doesn't have many. Mm-hmm. So you had no real NPCs that you enjoyed or could interact with. You had horrible enemies and an extremely buggy game. Enter the Dragonflies bugs are awful. The load times, the loading screens, this is not a joke. There are loading screens to the loading screen. That's real. The loading times were so long. There would be like a pre-loading screen, and then you'd get to the loading screen, and they would take just notoriously long. And in some of the previous games, the loading screens were actually kind of fun. They were like semi-interactive. You were like, oh, okay, this is all right. In this game, it's just like an animation of Spyro flying through space. Like, it's not even anything pretty. No scenery, no nothing. Damn. It's just like, well, I'm stuck here for 15 minutes to get to the next loading screen. And on top of that, loading screens were very, very frequent. They were too frequent and incredibly long, and that made it almost impossible to play in the first place, and B, you would never ever want to replay it in your entire life. I still go back and play Spyro 1. I still go back and play Year of the Dragon. I still play those games, but Enter the Dragonfly, never, ever, ever again. It's so broken, you can literally dash. Like, there will be like animations of gates, not animations, gates in the regular world that you are meant to have a key to get into. You can do Spyro's dash, and if you just kind of position yourself exactly right, you just go straight through. You can beat the game in 10 minutes. That's how broken it is. Wow. You can cheat. You can blaze right through it if you know what to do. Break the game. 10 minutes, you're at the final boss. It's just like, are you kidding me? And then the entire mechanic of the game that you're meant to be pursuing, saving these little baby dragonflies, was so much horse apples because you have this bubble breath. So, of course, Spyro breathes fire, but for the sake of these dragonflies, you can't breathe fire on them. They'll die. So you have bubble breath. So you encounter these dragonflies out and about in the world, and you have to run up to them, breathe on them, and then bubble them to catch them. But the game was so broken and the camera was so bad, you couldn't move to where they were in an orderly fashion. You could not aim at them. It was horrible. And then, as if that weren't bad enough, the frame rate was horrible. So even when you were just walking around, it was extremely laggy. And it's just like, are you kidding me? You could make a game for Spyro 3 and have it be awesome, but you can't go forward a few years and do anything even remotely as good. It devolved. It was a devolution. Devolution like nobody's business.
That sucks.
And every game that came after that, and there were at least a few that came after that, they never brought it back.
Spyro.
Enter the Dragonfly killed the Spyro series' popularity. Mm-hmm. So there may have been hardcore players out there that were like, no, we'll give the others a try. But after it left Insomniac Games, it was never the same. And it was worse, significantly worse.
Damn.
Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly. Don't play it.
Boo.
Boo.
So out of curiosity, I went and looked. It was developed by Check 6 Games and Equinox Digital Entertainment.
Fuck those guys.
Which they don't even have links to a Wikipedia page based on them. So that's one and done. And then, but it was published by, and this is what I think is the indicator that, it probably wasn't going to be that great.
Is it EA?
No, published by Universal Interactive. Universal Movie, Universal Movies. Like their interactive branch.
That's weird.
Most like I will say, WB has had a good run of like releasing games and stuff, or helping publish games that have been pretty good. But most of the time, that's a market that it's not going to be that great.
So, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. Horror.
All right. So mine, to bring us home,
Jarrett,
is of the Call of Duty Black Ops series within the Call of Duty franchise. The worst one is Black Ops 3.
Ooh, scandalous.
I'm glad you didn't say 2.
No, I actually really like
Would
2.
we have had a problem? Say 2. Change your mind, Jerrett.
No. 2, I actually really like 2 because it still had Alex Mason in it. It had some flashbacks, but then also some flash forwards, and all this other stuff. And then I love the villain of 2 was really good. And there was the one mission I remember where you actually are your guys are sent to assassinate the villain whose name is escaping me now. But you are, I think it's Raul.
Raul.
It would
What
be.
is that from?
I'm gonna see it.
From Bedazzled.
But what?
Remember that movie Bedazzled?
No.
No?
No.
With Elizabeth Hurley and Brendan Fraser? Come on. No.
Oh, I know what. Okay, I know.
He makes 6 wishes with the devil to do, and then wishes always screw him over.
Never mind. I think
the first one, he wants to be a Colombian drug lord.
Like a boa constrictor.
Yep, there's a scene. The first thing he wants to
Raul
do.
Menendez.
Okay, never mind.
Okay, sorry. Raul Menendez, and you're just sent to kill him, and then you wind up like accidentally killing his sister in the assault, like in a bombing or something that happens, and then it switches to you get to play as Raul Menendez,
vengeance.
and it was basically like he's like gone crazy and everything, and he's rushed, and so it was an interesting thing. You take shitloads of damage, but it doesn't kill you ever because it's to give you the feeling of like you're pissed, so you're going on a rampage, and so it's like it was a weird detraction that out of the norm for Call of Duty to be able to do that, but for that moment in that section in that mission, it was excellent, an excellent choice. But anyway, so I really liked that game. 3, here we sit. Black Ops 3, the one that just came out. Oh, can you hit the camera? And to be fair, but this also gives some credence to why it hits the worst. I have not finished it yet. I am in process of playing it. I got it for a while, but I got it and played the multiplayer, but didn't move on to the campaign for a while. And then I started playing the campaign actually not that long ago. And I'm about halfway through it, but it's a chore.
Remind me, did this come out this year or last year?
Last year.
Okay.
Oh, it's that recent.
Yeah.
I knew it was more
November.
recent, but I wasn't sure how much.
And I'm like I said, halfway through it, it's a chore. Whereas the story of Black Ops 1 is the thing that endeared me to it and why I think that one is the best of the Black Ops series. Black Ops 3 story is so cut and dry and just very like it's not well developed and thought out really at all. So basically what it starts out, it's in the future. They have like, humans can be like augmented soldiers kind of thing. It's like the mix, and they're also now like war robots and different things like that. It's very futuristic. And then it starts off, you become augmented because you're almost killed in like the first mission, and then you get like augments to save your life.
So are you getting like cyborg parts?
Yeah, like mechanical arms, mechanical legs, stuff like
okay.
that. And then you have like some abilities that they give you, like you can use like abilities to send like a shockwave to throw people back. So it's got some cool additions into the gameplay like that. But the story just blows because so you do that. You go through this whole training mission with this guy who you think is going to be like your bro, and it's played by Christopher Maloney, from Law and Order SVU and stuff like that.
Wait, who does he play?
He plays this character John Taylor in the game.
No, who does he play in SVU?
Elliot Stabler.
Oh,
yeah,
Oh,
him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Oh,
so he's
that's
in
them
this one.
apples. Okay.
And also like a lot of people are in this one. Katie Sackhoff is in it and stuff like that too. And so anyway, you like go through this very in-depth training mission with him and these other people of his unit. And so you're like, oh, this is cool. We're going to be running with these really elite guys. But then the next mission starts and you go on this other mission with a buddy from the first mission, Hendrix. And he chose to become augmented after you were injured so he could join this special force too.
Oh, because you're best bros.
Yeah. And so you're going on this mission, you go through it, you get to the end, and you find this group of, because you're in Singapore, and you're fighting this group called the 54 Immortals, who have like taken over after like catastrophic events have played the world, and they've taken over in Singapore. So you go to like rescue these people from there, and you get to where they are, and they're all dead. And they've been shot in like an execution style that looks very similar to a 54 Immortals hitman. But you're able to use your augmentations to like basically plug into their brain, basically to like pull out.
Man.
Yeah,
Right,
to like
this seems
crazy.
really out of the norm.
to like pull out their last memory kind of thing to see what they saw. And what you see in this thing, or maybe it was from like a computer chip that was there that like recorded it. I can't remember exactly.
Those are two
But anyway,
very different things.
Well, I mean, you pull a recording of what
Right,
happened from
right.
somewhere. And from what you see is that it's actually John Taylor and his crew are the ones who shot him.
Snap.
And so you're like, wait, what's happening?
Stabler, come on.
And so then you're just like, and so your guy Hendrix, who has been friends with Taylor for a long time, is like, no, that doesn't make sense. And then basically it just, from that point on, puts him onto this whole thing where about everything out of his mouth after that is, what? That doesn't make sense. Taylor wouldn't do that. I know Taylor. He's a good man. And just like that, like very cliched, basic dialogue that we've heard a bajillion times before.
Embrace reality, man.
Yeah. And it's like, and he's supposed to like suddenly act like he's questioning everything. And I'm like, wait, this is only mission 3. I did like the intro mission, the training mission, and now I'm here. I don't know enough about what's going on to be questioning things as much as you're questioning. And so, but it like shaking his world. And he's like, who do we trust, man? I don't know who to trust.
I don't know, fuck off.
You know, and I'm just like, dude,
We have to
I
be
don't.
objective
Yeah,
here.
come
Keep a
on,
cool
man.
head.
I don't know. And so then you meet up with during this mission, you're being directed through your headsets and everything by this other agent Kane, Rachel Kane, and who is also on Taylor's team. So immediately Hendrix is like, I don't know if we should be trusting her, because I don't know what's going on. And your guy,
home. I'm trying to figure this shit out.
and your guy normally he'll respond back to him too. And normally in Call of Duty, and stuff like, or whatever, and he'll talk back and he'll be like, no, you can trust her. And I'm like, because she's not that way. And it's just like, why is she not that way? And it's just like all these like things. And it's just like,
I need facts. I need proof.
yeah, it was very much just like it set it up. And it looked like you were going to be like bros with Taylor, and then all of a sudden you're not, but you don't know why you're not. And then you just, and I mean, maybe it all comes clear by the time I finish the game. But right now,
Yeah, what if it's like the greatest ending ever? Yeah, you're like,
it could be, and I will come back and revise my statement that it at least had a good ending. But as of right now, halfway in, it's like a chore to play because the story is like, there's this one mission, like the next mission after, the 54 Immortals storm your safe house. And you can't tell if Kane's dead. The building like blows up, and your character that you're playing as is like, no, I'm going to go get her. I'm going to go in there. And Hendrix is like, no, that's not the mission. We don't know if we can trust her. So she's probably dead. The building blew up.
One more time.
And she's like, no, I'm going to go get her. You fight through like another wave. You finish that wave. Hendrix is like, are you sure this is worth it, man? We don't even know if we can trust her.
Oh
no,
my
I
God.
can get her. And then you fight through
I
another wave.
told you, Hendrix.
Then you fight through another
Say it
wave.
again.
Come on, man, we're running out of time. She's not worth it. She's worth it, man. I'm going to save her. And then it just, I was just like, Jesus.
The frat party.
Could the dialogue be any more stilted and fake?
Come on.
It was ridiculous. And so it just like was dragging on me. And then also the other part about it is like, I'm playing it on, I believe, the hardened difficulty because I've played Call of Duty a lot. So I'm used to it. So I like playing on that difficulty now. So it's not super easy, but this one, instead of like presenting hard situations and difficult situations, I feel like their solution to making it harder is just throwing insane amount of enemies at you.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate
lazy
that. I hate
Aren't
that.
necessarily the smartest enemies.
Yeah.
It's just a whole bunch of them. They rush at you, but like you can take them out really easily. And especially since you're like a super super soldier, you're able to like take out big groups of them all at once. Like there's this one that like, if robots are like 3 robots will be coming at you, you can like overheat one of them's core and it explodes, and then the other 2 will like freak out and explode then. And then like this one that like causes you to freeze humans or something like that, or like puts them into convulsions, something like that. So there you can take like 3 or 4 of them at a time. I don't know. It's just like I'm going through this, and yeah, I'm getting killed, but because there's a lot of people, not necessarily that it's like, oh, this is difficult. So now I'm like, oh, these 5 guys are going to come over here. Grenade.
Yeah, not because it's an actual challenge, because it's a swarm.
It's just a swarm,
I hate
right?
that.
And so I don't know. It just hasn't felt as. I mean, I know Call of Duty gets a lot of flack, whereas because they're just like, these are so dumb. It's the same thing churned out year over year, and I agree with that. Yes, it's the amount of annualization that Call of Duty has is ridiculous. I think it could stand like Assassin's Creed this year is not coming out with a new one. I think Call of Duty could take a break.
There you go.
The game is popular enough. A year off is not going to kill you.
Right.
No.
And to bring some new fun things, like really interesting things to the game is going to be great.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, yes, they split the games between 3 different developers, and each one takes a year. So, like, granted, that developer has time to, build and improve, but like,
Who owns Call of Duty? Like who gets
Activision is like part of them, but then Treyarch, I believe Treyarch's the one who makes Black Ops,
Does that mean,
Sledgehammer.
So does that mean they all own a piece of it? Like
They're like contracted out, I believe. And
I bet
then
it's a conspiracy.
Yeah.
I bet it's the
and then like
Canadians.
Activision is and Infinity Ward is the third one. So anyway, so that just, to me, it's just like I'm trying to play it because I've played all the other Call of Duties. I want to get through this one eventually too, especially because like Infinite Warfare is coming out later this year with Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remaster. So I want to be able to check it off the list, but God Almighty, it's putting me through the ringer just because right now, if nothing else, the dialogue is about to kill me. I'm fine with like shooting down swarms of people, but like the dialogue in and of itself, and like I don't understand what's happening. And it's like Call of Duty, like that's what I loved about Black Ops. There was enough mystery to like keep you like, wait, what's happening? And then a twist would come up like, oh, Reznov's not actually alive. He's dead, and he's just a vision in your mind, because of your brainwashing. Like all that stuff was crazy in because of Black Ops 1. In Black Ops 1. But Black Ops 3, it's like trying to make this big thing, and it's just falling flat, and I just can't.
Boom.
And
gonna have the best ending of your life.
It might, and then I'll be back in like 3 episodes from now and be like, guys, I was wrong.
That's the best of the series.
Reverse it. It blows one out of the water.
Surprise.
But no, so that is Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3.
I will say, I have not played it as much because other things like Overwatch came out. But the multiplayer for Black Ops 3 is pretty great. I will give it that. Because it does have like with the specialists that you unlock, that have their each certain set of abilities and so it's like Overwatch in the sense where like it adds some variation to the core characters, the core people that they are, but then you could still have, and it's got insane levels of customization to your loadouts and everything. So that's really cool. I do really like the multiplayer, and I will give strong props to that. But yeah, the campaign, oh my God, it's rough.
Do you want to give it the boo?
I'll give it a boo.
Whoa! Harsh.
Those are harsh words.
Those are harsh.
That's a harsh word.
Harsh
word, sir.
Strongly spoken word.
It's a good firm opinion.
But yeah, that is my worst
Nice.
of the series.
Nice.
Song time?
I was about to say,
think
don't
so.
we have a closing segment?
We do.
Hint?
We do have a hint. Zach is bringing us the song this episode. And remember, the contest begins to guess to allow everyone a fair amount of time for people to listen to the episode. Give us the first person to reply with the correct answer starting at Wednesday, 9 a.m., the Wednesday after this episode goes
I
live.
thought we said
Plebs.
noon.
Oh, the episode last week,
Oh, okay.
more
Yeah,
was
I think it was
9.
nine.
Never mind.
We originally talked about
bad.
Tuesday at noon, then we moved
okay.
it. So
Okay.
Wednesday, 9 a.m., give us your best guesses. Hopefully they're right. And we will give a shout out to the person who guesses correctly. So Zach, hit us with your hint.
The hint is, it is not from Little Big Planet.
Ooh.
This song is not from Little Big Planet.
So it's from Big Small Planet.
Well, it's just, if you want to guess, you can guess.
Thank you. I'm glad
Wednesday
you
at
laughed
9.
at that. All right. Well, there it is. It is not from Little Big Planet. Send us your guesses at Wednesday, 9 a.m. sharp, so that you have the best chance of being the correct answer. But yeah.
Yeah. Derp.
This has been, ladies and gentlemen, another episode of Team Chat Podcast. Until next time, or until next time, again, send us your comments, questions, anything like that to teamchatpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and subscribe to our channel on YouTube so you can watch the episodes in video format, as well as some game clips, bonus-odes, and episode highlights. You should really check it out. You should follow us on all these things to get the full Team Chat experience.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
It's pretty damn great. But until next time, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Au revoir.
And to my left, Zachary Parks.
Peace.
Stick around for the song.